Hey, everybody, listen, happy Wednesday. Listen, it's hump day. It's Wednesday. We're still here. It is cold in Jersey. Just so y'all know, the cold has come upon us out here in Jersey. It's cold outside. I got it toasty up in my house right now because it is chilly outside. But listen, people, it's trending topics, and we're doing Family Matters Part 2. Family Matters Part 2. The people on these streets wilding out. I don't know what's going on, but we got, what do we have? 7 days left before the new year. And I'm hoping 2025 will bring in and usher in something different. Because woo to 2024. Listen, Family Matters. We got an airport drama. This man loses his natural mind, calling the female worker a bitch, all because of something with the wheelchair taking a long time to come. Now, if you ever traveled, period, but especially around the holidays, one thing you got to know is you're going to need a whole lot of patience. Whether you driving, for Thanksgiving, I drove to my brother's and I just had to prepare my head that I'm going to run into some traffic. So you go to the bathroom before you leave. You get your favorite beverage. You have your playlist ready so you can hear your music, and the time will just go by really fastly because you in the car jamming, and you keep your car gassed up in case you need the heat or the air, whichever one, depending upon where you're at and what the weather is like. Even when I go to the supermarket now, and they got these self-checkout lines, I still, because there are some places that still got magazines, I just grab a magazine and I be flipping through it as I'm waiting in the line. When I go to the doctor's office, because these doctors, your appointment at 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock, you like, is the doctor here? Is she about to see me? What's going on? So now in the doctor's office, and when I go to the doctor, the dentist, whatever, I got a solitaire on my phone, and I just be playing the solitaire. Next thing you know, they calling my name. Diva, you next. You got to figure out how to keep yourself calm. People got their blood pressure all the way up over what? Now you are seen all over the world freaking out and calling a female out of her name. And I gotta ask, was it really worth it? But we're going to talk about it. We're going to discuss that. Then we got the Walmart update. Now we can look at this thing through a different lens. Yes, we can. We can look at it through a different lens. And the reason why is because when you go back and look at the video, just take note how the girl never said a word. When the people in the Walmart was talking to them, her, she wasn't cursing, she wasn't yelling, she was just throwing stuff. Well, now we got a little update. She's nonverbal. She has a neuro disorder. And that scene went on for about an hour. And then finally the parents showed up. Now, I still don't know where the parents showed up from. Is when I get updates on this, I will update y'all. I don't know where the parents were, how they lost her, how she got away from. I don't know none of that. But when you have a child, and again, over here anything when we have a conversation, it's not about judgment. It's about a conversation, because we got to have a conversation. If we're going to do better, we got to talk about it. If you have a child that is nonverbal and you are outside and you know said child has the wherewithal sometime to get away from you, you need to have something in place where you keeping eyes on said child 24/7. Even with my grown child, I be like, where you be? Where you at? What's going on? And this is not about nobody trying to say they perfect. But I do check in and say, are you breathing? Are you good? What's going on? If I have a nonverbal child on my hand, I'm going to keep 4 eyes on that kid. I still, it's something about the parents still ain't sitting right with me. It's not. Something is still going on, and eventually it's going to come out. You know, they said, well, don't come out in the wash, will come out on the rinse. If it don't come out on the rinse, when you throw that thing in the dryer, it will surface. We need this thing to go in the dryer because we need to know the truth. Because something's missing. Then we got a very sad story. Bullies in the school was bullying this girl for over a year. The girl had enough, and unfortunately, she decided to take her own life. She was not successful. She survived. While she was in the ICU, these bullies went to the ICU. Now, I don't even know what hospital is this. Took pictures of the girl and was spreading the pictures around on social media. Now, when you raising a child that is that deviant, knowing that they mess with somebody to the point where that push that somebody to try to take their own life, and then you go and you taking pictures, you a sick puppy. Something wrong with you. You need help big time. How do you sleep at night? And where are the parents? Y'all decided it was a good idea that y'all go to this hospital and y'all snap these pictures and then you share it online? Family matters, people. Family matters. It's a lot going on. Yes, it is. But listen, guys, y'all know what time it is. I got to bring the people in the building. Y'all know what I need in that chat, right? I need a what? I need a choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. It is Wednesday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title is called Family Matters Part 2. We got the airport drama. We got an update on the Walmart situation. And we got, unfortunately, bullies. You know what? Let me tell you something about bullies. It doesn't just happen in grade school. It doesn't just happen in school. It happens in college. It happens in the workplace. It happens in adulthood. And maybe one day I will dedicate a show to this topic and how people can address it, grab a hold of it, and stop bullies in their tracks. Yes, there are bullies in the workplace when we're full-blown adults. Bullies in college. And we got to learn how to deal with it, because we got to talk about it and learn how to deal with it. And I've been leaning back a little bit on the Diddy stories, because, child, 2025, we're going to be inundated with them because the trial is in 2025. But I will say this. That Lamisha, what's her name? Fuller, I think her last name is. That was did an interview on the Lionel B show. The lawyer for the Jane Doe came out and said that ain't his client. Let me say something to y'all. And you know, but there's many people, they just jump on the blanket bandwagon of victim shaming. Let me just say this. If you walk into anything in 2025, if you want a tip from Diva, you have the right to question. If something don't look right, don't smell right, you can question it. I tapped out when the girl said Chance was her baby. That Chance was her daughter. If I didn't tap out then, I tapped out when she said she was eating people. If I didn't tap out then, I tapped out when she claimed she dragged Diddy out of a burning building. If I didn't tap out then, I tapped out when this girl claimed that she was the Jane Doe and didn't have a lawyer. I cannot. Listen, and let me move on because she ain't the topic tonight. But the idea is that we got to write the question. And just because we question, don't mean we victim shaming. When 1 and 1 don't equal 2, you can say, hold on, wait a minute. So let's go ahead and get into tonight. I see the choo-choos out there. Let me bring the people on in the building. Hold on one second. Hey, Julius. Hey, Katrina.
Hey, Diva. Hey, Chat.
Hey, Faye. Hey, Felicia. All right, people, we're going to get into this story. I don't know why people are so angry. The first one I'm going to go into is this Delta Airlines and what happened, and this man hurling profanities at this worker. I feel sorry that the worker engaged. It's a mess. Let me get into it, then I'll give y'all more of my thoughts. Let me go ahead and share a screen. So Delta Airlines, a tense exchange over a wheelchair. He called her, "You broke B." I mean, this is a man saying this to a female. Let's listen. All right, every now and then my computer want to act up. All right, let me see if I could recircle it there. Hold on one second. Okay, I'll read a little bit while we're waiting for it to come through. So Delta Airlines tense exchange over wheelchair. You broke B. Intense scene on the jet bridge for Delta Airlines flight. A passenger waiting for a wheelchair got into a vote with an airline employee, and it's all on video. TMZ obtained footage from Monday's explosive incident in Atlanta, showing an air traveler with crutches and his foot in a cast arguing with a woman from the airport's wheelchair service. Okay, I think it's coming up here. Hold on one second so we can listen.
Ah, you mad? Ah, you mad? You're mad. You bum ass bitch. You're mad. You bum ass bitch. You're mad. I'm still talking. You're mad. No, I can't walk. I can't walk. I'm not going nowhere. You bum ass bitch. Mad. You're mad. You're mad, bitch. You're mad, bitch. You're mad. I'm gonna leave this airport and have a beautiful time. I got thousands, you bum ass bitch. You gotta be here and work, bitch. I paid to be here, bitch. That's why you ain't got a job, you broke bitch. You stupid bitch. Shut the up, bitch. Shut the up, you broke bitch. That's why you broke and miserable, you hoe. You broke bitch. She wanna keep running her mouth. Same way I was talking to y'all, I'm talking to her. She just can't take it. She wanna keep saying shit, telling me what the rules and regulations. Shut the f up. What the f are you talking about? Joking. I'm putting in a complaint too. Before I leave here, I'm in no form of rush at all. It's a joke. Should have been off this now. I said it too. Hey, with wheelchair assistance, I should have been out of here. It's a joke. Paying all this money to fly, and y'all can't even do y'all jobs properly. I gotta deal with bum ass employees that run their mouth and don't know how to be professional. It's a joke. And I apologize to you, sweetheart, but I hope you've seen it for what it was. Joke. Act like somebody says like she did something wrong. I'm speaking on the company.
Right.
And you should not be waiting, and that's just a fact. There's no way the person that this is for still didn't be playing yet. But me and you were waiting. That doesn't add up. It makes 0 sense. Zero. Sending to where I gotta get off the plane and sit here. When they're supposed to get me from the plane. Joke. Don't even offer me a seat. Nothing. You stand here. Stand here and put weight on your shit that you're not going to put no weight on. Stand there.
Oh my goodness. So disrespectful. Just want to make sure I pause it. All right. TMZ obtained footage from Monday's supposed incident in Atlanta showing an air traveler with crutches and his foot in a cast arguing with a woman from the airport's wheelchair service, repeatedly calling her a bitch. Folks who were there say the guy was upset with how long it was taking to get a wheelchair, and he started yelling. The video picks up with the traveler in an epic shouting match with the woman from the wheelchair service. And she has to be physically separated from him and escorted out to the terminal. We're told this all happened at the Delta flight from Albany, New York to Atlanta, and cops spoke to the man once he got to the concourse, but did not arrest him. Honchos at Delta Airlines tell TMZ, at minimum, Delta has no tolerance for unruly behavior. Not so friendly skies. Whew. It's messy. Julius, your thoughts?
All that for what?
Mm-hmm.
Not being patient, but I understand he was frustrated, but for him to do that, yeah, bruh, that's on you.
Yeah. Katrina, your thoughts?
I would have gave him that wheelchair and left him sitting right there. And you calling me broke, you the one broke. You the one got your foot in the cast. I got both of my feet. I can walk. Push yourself up the tarmac. I would have left him sitting right there. If you call me the bitch word, that's the ultimate disrespect. I'm not a pregnant dog. So if you want to get up this tarmac, you be taking yourself, or I say, well, listen, I'll get somebody else who can help you. Because right now, I don't think I'm the person that needs to be around you right now. And to keep all this conflict down, let me go get somebody that can help you. Because it was just totally ridiculous for him to keep saying it, and for the men to sit up there and let him say that to this woman, and now saying, please, sir, calm down, watch your words whatsoever. That was disrespectful as well. So the police didn't do anything to him. Oh, well, but and like you said, Diva, she shouldn't have engaged. She should have just walked off and been professional and left him sitting there and tell him that I will send somebody up here to help you. That's what I would have done. That's all I got.
Yeah. Felicia, your thoughts?
Oh, my.
Mm-hmm.
I am so sorry that happened to that young woman on her job. I don't know what she allegedly did, but nothing that I saw in there deserved her to be spoken to in that manner. If the wheelchair wasn't there, usually they tell you to stay on the aircraft until your wheelchair is there. I don't know when he ordered it. I don't know if they failed to do it. She got there when she could. Clearly, he said he can't walk, but he could certainly speak in a very hostile and disrespectful way. I am really done with the world speaking to Black women in ways that is unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking to her that way, it appears that he triggered her. I don't know if she has heard people speak to her like that in the past and she's just fed up and frustrated and unable to manage all of that. I hope that she's able to get some counseling at work. Maybe they'll put her in a position where she doesn't have to deal with arrogant people who appear to be on some kind of medication who feel entitled just to speak that way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What did she do? Not come with the chair in time? Is this what this was all about?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like you said, Diva, you have to have patience. And he had none. So after all of that, it's like Julia said, what was that for? You were still the last one off the aircraft. You're not going to be able to get there. I hope he missed a connect flight. I hope everything went bad for him after that. I really do. And God help all the people who had to sit next to that energy. Because let's be clear, you didn't just come up with all of that. That's a part of who you are.
Yeah, come on now, talk to the people. That's
No, it
facts.
really is. It's a part of who you are. This is how you respond about everything. And somebody didn't bring your tea fast enough. They didn't make your drink fast enough. Your food wasn't hot. This is how they respond. And we expect that when it's us, we're going to be treated differently, and we are not. And I agree with Katrina. No one intervened and said, sir, really, it's not necessary for you to be speaking this way to Miss So-and-so. Give us a moment. We'll get this chair to you right away.
Mm-hmm.
There's enough going on with people flying. There's people acting out on the aircrafts, people coming up there intoxicated. People don't want to sit next to other people. You're in a little piece of aircraft, 30-something thousand up, feet in the air. We need to do better.
Facts.
And for one another, we need to do better by one another. Just be quiet. Say, I need to go sit down. Can I go sit with the pilot or something until my chair gets here?
Something.
Right, but that, and he'll be on another Delta flight. I hope I don't have to fly with him. I don't go to Albany anyway. He coming from nowhere. And nobody's up in Albany. And when he go back, let him be alone. Miserable. I'm done. I'm disgusted with him.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't like the way he was talking to her either. Wayne, your thoughts?
As much as I want to, I can't put my mouth on this one.
Gotcha. Got you. Understood. I will also say this. So I don't know. Listen, you got to travel when he hurt his leg or his foot or whatever the case may be. But I'm rolling with you on this, Felicia, that this is who he is. And then he had the nerve to try to act like he's better than that by apologizing to one person. I don't know if this person was the one that was filming everything. He said, but I apologize to you, sweetheart, because, neither one of us should have been standing here this long. This is messed up. And he continued to hurl obscenities and everything else about the worker. It was just sad. So let's go ahead and roll into the update story. And the update story is the little girl from Walmart. Got a little more insight that she's nonverbal, that this situation was going on for about an hour. And in my mind, I'm picturing that part of her being lost maybe in the Walmart, she was scared. Of course, you can't just walk up to somebody because she didn't have the words to say, listen, I'm lost. And then I think probably at some point is when she just started, throwing stuff. And that's how people maybe came to even notice her and recognize that she was there. Probably before that, she was walking around this store scared and lost, and no one even recognized her. But they recognized her when she started throwing stuff. It's sad. I do feel that more is still missing from this story. I can't put my finger on it, but I'm just like, something is about the parents. Something's missing, and I'm not liking it. So Walmart, woman from viral video says the kid needed help. She's not a spoiled brat. And that's just a still from with the Walmart situation. We talked about this story yesterday for Trending Topics and Family Matter Part 1. The woman who tried to calm the little girl throwing food inside a Walmart in a viral video says the kid was scared because she was separated from her family. Amber Gregory is the woman in the black outfit who shows up at the scene and attempts to soothe the little girl as she throws and stomps on packages of food inside the store. Lots of folks thought she was the kid's mom, but Amber says she was just trying to help the little girl because she reminded her of her own child. I will, for those who did not, I'll mute that for a minute, and was not here yesterday for Trending Topics, I will show the video again so we could see, but I want everybody to know this too, that she doesn't say a word.
I gotta do that. You need to let her go.
Well, whoever she's with, we aren't going. But she is in this store. Don't yell at her. Don't yell at her. You don't know she's mixed with. You don't know she's happy. Don't touch her. Right. 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 Don't touch her. Don't touch her. Don't report her. That doesn't matter. You don't know what she's doing. Oh, little girl. You don't know what she's doing. Don't y'all do that to a little girl. Y'all don't know what she's supposed to be.
Oh, but you do notice she doesn't say a word that whole time, even when the people are talking to her. So Amber says the girl in the video isn't a spoiled brat having a tantrum. Instead, she says the girl is a nonverbal, neurodivergent child who was scared about being alone in the store. She says the girl couldn't speak, say her name, or communicate what was wrong and was obviously in need of help. But most adults in the store just whipped out their phones to record the incident instead of trying to help. Amber says she has a child that has the same issues. So she's got experience in training with this sort of thing. And she says folks saying the girl needs a beating as a punishment have no clue what they are talking about. She says people in the store were more interested in making a spectacle of the girl's behavior rather than doing something positive to help. And she said there was no one trying to find the girl's family. Amber says the situation was playing out for about 45 minutes to an hour. And the video doesn't show the girl trying to hurt herself with the broken glass from the bottle she smashed. She also says the kid's parents eventually showed up. And they had to run away from the people who had all their phones out recording. She says the cops were called, but it's unclear if the police report was filed. Why was she alone, Nate? That's a problem, right? It's a lot of questions still. But it's a lot of questions still. Julius, your thoughts?
Too many questions with this situation.
Mm-hmm.
And destruction of store property, that is a no-no.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if the child is verbal or nonverbal. Someone should have intervened and said to the child, "You are okay," before she started wrecking property. I do blame the adults in this situation because someone should have acted sooner. I
Mm-hmm.
stand on that.
Mm. Katrina, your thoughts?
Did the parent tell that woman that that child was a nonverbal and got all these issues going on? Even though she got a child like that, who to say that that child is like that? And I'm not saying that she isn't, but what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying is because you can't find your parent, you gonna do destructive things. And when people tried to stop her, she broke loose from them and started doing it, kicking the wall and doing all this, knocking the pies down, throwing the bottles. What if she would throw that bottle and hurt somebody? I'm not saying that she don't have these type of problems, but if she act this way outside, I can imagine how if she got this type of problem, how she's acting in the house. And if she's acting that way, if she got that type of problem, why are you? Where's the parent? She said it was a parent. Why wasn't the parent watching her for an hour? This is very, very fishy. I don't know if they did this to go viral or something. Because, I think it was like last year where the other little girl was trying to fight her grandma in Walmart and the lady in the wheelchair was trying to stop her. I don't know if you remember that story, but this happened last year in Walmart as well. So I'm not saying that the child don't have a problem. That's not my field. But what I'm saying is, if your child got a problem like that, then you should make sure your child is in your vision 24/7. And if she's being this destructive at home, I mean, at this place, what is she doing at home? And what type of help are you giving her that she won't be acting this way? She's acting out because she couldn't find her mom. And they said they wait for 45 minutes, so nobody got on the intercom and saying if your child is missing, excuse me, Walmart shopper, we got a child in this store and they're looking for their parent. Nobody did that. Mm-mm. Something is wrong with this story. I'm not saying that the child do not have a deformities or some type of mental problem whatsoever. But what I'm saying is the amount of time it took for somebody to calm her down, for her to go through this store like this because she's can't find her parents. That's just a little weird to me. But I guess we'll get to the full story later on. And I'm not being heartless, y'all. I'm just seeing it as I see it. But that's all I got, Diva.
Thank you. Felicia, your thoughts?
This is a sad night for me. Prayers for these parents, this family, her teachers, and everyone. There's a lot going on there.
Mm-hmm.
So she's unable to communicate what her hurt is. She's unable to communicate what is happening with her. She must run off. One of those kids that you really probably should have something to keep them close to you, but then people judge you for that because we're all full of judgment. And she goes off, and they're just hoping for the best. Maybe after this situation here, they'll get even better help for her so that she's able to communicate, find a way to, because she looks like she's about 7. So, can you imagine being nonverbal at that age and unable to just communicate a simple, I'm lost, and I can't find my parents, or I don't really even know where I'm at. I mean, we're assuming a lot of things. I don't know if the parents go there to shop all the time. I know one time when I was a kid, I got lost very briefly, and it was kind of frightening, folks. So I don't know. So I'm going to reserve my judgment on this situation. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Wayne, your thoughts?
This is a case of damn if you do, damn if you don't. The article wanted to talk about how all the people stood around, they didn't do nothing. What was they supposed to do? One lady says, I'm not touching nobody else's child. I mean, what could they do? If you touch the child and something happened or the child get hurt, you may go to jail for child abuse. Okay, if nobody did anything, and the child, Walmart don't just sell food. They sell knives and a whole bunch of other stuff that can hurt somebody. So it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. And I don't believe the child was in the store with her parents. I kind of think she may have been with some other people and got separated, you know. And that's when you want your mama, father, whatever, whatever comforts you, you know, because she already was probably with some people that she knew, but not like that. And anything could trigger. Okay, because I've been through this. Not me myself, my grandson. And I remember one time when I was bringing him here, he was about, I think he was about 4 years old. I had custody of him. And at the airport, he acted up so bad. I mean, so bad. All I could do was just like, Jordan, you know. And they came over and asked me, "Oh, are you okay, little boy?" And I had to explain to them, to the police officer, whoever was the lady, that, you know, the condition he had, and, you know, so on, you know, and they understood. You know, but people aren't putting their hands on other people's children, even if it costing their lives almost, because people are scared. Like the lady said, I'm not touching nobody else's child. Would any of us went over there, you know, and tried to grab the child or whatever, you know? Granted, I appreciate the lady who tried to say, you know, calm down, you know. I don't think she was touching, but trying to calm him down. But can you imagine everybody jumping in? Calm her down. Calm down. This is not something that Walmart shoppers can handle. Sure, they had the phones out like anybody, most people would. If they didn't have them out, what was they going to be doing? Watching anyway. You know, but I just think that child, you know, in an environment she don't know or whatever, you know, it's no excuse. And the reason I think she may have been with some other people, because why wasn't there an announcement? Does someone have a young child with pink on or whatever, you know, blah, 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 blah. Nothing. Who does that? So I hope the child, you know, the child probably gets help, but it was a bad day for all of them.
Yeah, that part right there. It was a bad day for everybody. I do, like I said earlier, I'm gonna stay connected to this story, but of course I have questions. I don't understand why, if that was going on for about 45 minutes to an hour, at no point did I see like what I would think would be a supervisor of the Walmart, security, something. Like no phone calls being made, nothing, so that they can figure out where the parents are. A loudspeaker. I don't know if they still have those in the stores or whatever, to say, listen, anybody missing a young girl? They said the girl's about 10. She has pink on, braids in her hair. Something's amiss. And something's going on with the parents, because at this point, a speak out needs to happen. But, you know, and we always say that, you know, how do certain things get to certain points? Well, it's this right here. Even, and I'm not saying that this child needs to be taken away from her parents, but the investigation needs to happen. Because 45 minutes to an hour is a long time. A long time for you to be separated from your child who you know is nonverbal. In my opinion, you're up. Did you want to say something about this story?
Stephen Diva.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and run into the last story. And the last story is pretty sad. A young girl who unfortunately was being bullied. She couldn't take it anymore. She tried to take her own life, was not successful. And the bullies didn't stop. They still didn't stop. So I first played the news clip, and then we'll get more into the story.
Responding to bullying and harassment claims when it comes to their now 14-year-old daughter.
The suit claims the lack of response from administrators, faculty, and staff led to their daughter's attempted suicide.
The mother of the child sat down with our Destiny Chance to share a story you'll see only on WYFF News 4. We do want to warn you, some of the details may be difficult to hear and see.
It's another morning for this mother of three. Except there's no getting ready for carpool or packing a lunchbox.
Unfortunately, words do hurt. They used to teach us sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never harm me. Words are the one thing that we will carry.
Ty Turner, filled with emotion, speaking publicly for the first time about when her daughter was 11 years old, a student at Fisher Middle School. In the 24-page lawsuit her family filed this summer, it details multiple occasions where her daughter, Kalea, says another student physically assaulted her and called her a roach and a man.
There was no less than 7 to 9 times that I myself personally reached out to the school, and I had the emails, and half the time they didn't respond back, and if they did, it wasn't with anything of any sustenance. There was never any resolution.
Then, on March 17th, 2023, Turner says that became a day she will never forget. She found her then 12-year-old daughter hanging from a belt in her bedroom at home.
It was 11:18 p.m. when I found Kalea hanging. They couldn't find a pulse, and they couldn't find her heartbeat. There were grown men in that room crying.
She was in a coma for weeks, ultimately staying in the hospital for 101 days. And now, Kalea requires a trach, feeding tube, and she's nonverbal. She can't lift her arms, legs, or torso and is completely dependent on her parents to function. WYFF News 4 reached out to Greenville County Schools. They say in part, quote, the district is aware of the allegations made by this parent and has addressed them directly with the parent. We disagree with these allegations and have conducted a thorough investigation and review of each allegation at the time they were made. While we do not agree with the allegations, our hearts go out to Kalea Takora Turner, her mother, and their family.
I don't think that parents understand how much more peers and how a child is received by their peers supersedes everything that you will teach them, everything that you'll pour into them.
In the meantime, Ty says each day is a fighting chance as she keeps faith alive.
It's all you need is faith the size of a mustard seed. I have way more than that. I have crazy faith when it comes to her. And so I believe that she'll be fully restored.
In Greenville County, Destiny Chance, WYFF News 4.
Ty says she's been attending Greenville County School Board meetings advocating for Kalea. Greenville County Schools says in part, quote, every school implements anti-bullying strategies and programs for students, including how to recognize bullying and how to report it, and adds, as is communicated to parents and students, Greenville County Schools prohibits all forms of bullying, discrimination, harassment, or intimidation, end quote. WIFF News 4 will keep you updated on any developments in the lawsuit. If you or someone you know needs help, you can talk with the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline by calling or sending a text message to 988. Head to our website, WIFF4.com, for more information.
Now, I want to get a little more into this story because it gets even more difficult to understand. So bullies sneak into the ICU to snap photos of the 12-year-old girl they drove to pretty much do what she did to herself, the lawsuit states. Let me just... So South Carolina middle school bullies who pushed a 12-year-old girl to try to unalive herself visited visited her later at the ICU, and took photos of the victim to mock her on social media, according to a new lawsuit. Kalea Turner, now 14, suffered more than a year of physical and verbal abuse at the hand of 5 peers at the middle school in Greenville. Her heartbroken family wrote in a lawsuit against the district and 9 faculty members who were accused of negligence. Hold on one second. I already played that for y'all. That's fine. Okay. Where is that? Seeing trying to take your own life as her way out. She tried to unalive herself in 2023 and was dead for 8 minutes before paramedics could revive her, with Kalea suffering severe brain damage and remaining in a coma for weeks. While Kalea was in a coma, one of the bullies made their way inside the ICU and snapped photos of the intubated girl, posting the photos on social media and spreading rumors about her injuries, the lawsuit says. Ty Turner, Kalena's mother, says she wants justice and is targeting the district for allegedly failing her daughter and allowing the bullying to go unrestrained for a year and a half. They used to teach us sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me, the mom told the news. Unfortunately, words do hurt. The lawsuit claimed the bullying started in 2021 when Kalea, began wearing her natural hair to school, with students calling her Roach and saying she looked like a man. Kalea's teacher, Olivia Bennett, allegedly joined in on the mockery and would acknowledge the victim when the bullies would ask her, "Where's the Roach?" Along with regularly insulting her and pushing her, one of the bullies verbally assaulted her when they found out her parents spoke to school officials about the torment and planned to move her to another class. Things only escalated in 2022 when Kalea got into a fight with one of the bullies, with the school officials opting to suspend her, not her tormentor, according to the lawsuit. On May 23rd, 2022, her parents said students targeted their daughter by playing an offensive YouTube video called The Black People Song, which teacher John Tier allegedly allowed to be played aloud without reprimand over the video's racist nature. Later that year, the bullies went on to pour water on her clothes and then threw them in the trash, the lawsuit states. Through all this, the stricken child's parents allege that the district failed to take any meaningful action to stop the torment. With Kalea opting to try to take her own life with a belt in her bedroom on March 17, 2023. Beautiful girl. She was cool to touch. Blood was coming out of her nose, her mother recalled, of her daughter's limp body afterward. She had fully committed to what it was that she was attempting to do, and she was gone for 8 whole minutes. She ended up suffering severe brain damage and has been left with no control over her body. The lawsuit, which was filed in November, seeks damages from the district and faculty members to cover her medical bills, psychiatric expenses, special education, parents lost wages while taking care of her, life care expenses, disability care, injury to her psyche and emotional state, and loss of enjoyment of life. Greenville County Schools have denied the allegations and claims its staff takes the appropriate steps when dealing with bullying incidents. We disagree with these allegations and have conducted a thorough investigation and review of each allegation at the time they were made, the district said in a statement. While we do not agree with the allegations, our hearts go out to her mother, and their family, officials said. As of Tuesday morning, a GoFundMe to help support her raised more than $15,000. If you are struggling with thoughts or are experiencing a mental health crisis and live in New York City, you can call 1-888-NYC-WELL for free and confidential crisis counseling. If you live outside of the 5 boroughs, you can dial the 24/7 National S Prevention Hotline at 988 or go to the spreventionlifeline.org. This is beyond sad. I couldn't even believe it when I read it. Julius, what are your thoughts?
I was reading the chat, and one of the comments said the teacher was taking part in the bullying. You were supposed to lead by example, but you're encouraging the bullying and humiliation of this girl. Now you deserve to have your license revoked. And I'm sorry, but that teacher deserves to face charges because this pushed this girl to try to unalive herself. And now look at her. She's immobilized in a wheelchair. All because of weak headed people. Miss me with the foolery. But one thing I can say, and I wish I don't have to quote this all so often, but Cat Williams wasn't lying when he said this was the year of exposure.
Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah, my thoughts are I am so pissed. I am pissed, and I know Felicia gonna look up the stats of this school. This child was so empty and was at such a dark place that she did this to herself. And God allowed her to come back for a reason. For that school and the person that took the pictures of that child, I think the parents should be held liable. I think they should sue them. They should sue the school, the district. They should sue everybody, especially when I went to you and told you that my child is being bullied. They wet her clothes. They called her a roach. This is ridiculous. And the teacher allowed this? Me and that teacher would be windmilling right now. But that lady's controlling herself because that couldn't be me. That could not be me. She's doing the right thing by, going through the laws and whatsoever. But me and that teacher would be windmilling right along now. For you to do this and to know what this is doing to a child and you didn't stop this is totally ridiculous and pathetic and sad. This is a Lifetime movie come to life. I see so many of these Lifetime movies just like this, and we see it and we still go out and do it. For that baby to try to take herself away off this earth because people are tormenting her, that is the worst. That is the absolute worst. And for a mom to come in and see her child that way, she she's a good mom because she's holding it in better than me, and I'm mad, and that's not even my child. This is so sad. This is sad on so many levels, and it just don't stop with this child. It goes on and on and on and on. Half of them end up in gangs. Half of them end up on doing substances because they can't take the pressure. This is so sad. And I hope this parent get everything they supposed to get from this district, from these parents, because I will be suing them too. I'll be holding you as liable. You almost committed. Whew.
Thanks,
We
Katrina.
just let Felicia look up the stats because I know she's looking them up. I know it's gonna come
Yeah,
through.
but it's
I
this
gotta
is
go.
beyond the stats. I'm not really,
No, I'm talking about
I know,
what color was. No, I'm
I
saying
hear
what
you, but
colors was these kids? Was
yeah,
they
yeah, no,
white? Was they
listen.
black? Was
Yeah,
they?
but here's the thing, Katrina, with me in this story. This before there's a lot of failing schools, but this to me, even before we even go there with the stats, this is bigger than this.
I'm not talking about the
Just,
stats in that. I'm talking about the racial. When they calling her a roach, I want to know what's the race of this school. That's what I want to know.
yeah,
Like, is the teacher white? Was the teacher? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. Was she racial? It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm not talking about the failing school or whatsoever. That can be come up twice. I mean, that can come up as well. But I'm talking about how they allowed this child to be bullied, to be demised. It's just a lot. That's all I got. But I hear what you're saying, Diva. But
yeah.
that's all I got.
Special K, I'm with you. First of all, when you're in ICU, I don't know how these kids even got through in that hospital like that to get up to her room in ICU. This is a mess. And I'm with you.
Yeah, because
The
you can be
hospital,
over
give me a
15
minute,
in
Katrina.
ICU.
Give me a minute, Katrina. The hospital needs to be put in this lawsuit too. Because they went there, they snapped pictures, and then they put it online. Insult to injury. Yeah, she was in ICU, Diva. I'm asking because what child is allowed in ICU without an adult? And usually they aren't even allowed. That part. That part.
And another thing, Diva, how did she get in the IC? Like you said, how she get in the ICU? Because most likely they put you on a list, and if you're not part of that family, they're not gonna let you in there anyway. So you're right. The hospital do need to be held liable.
They need to be on that list too. In this school, they're lying. In my opinion, your thoughts?
So this was the story that really broke my heart. A lot of people like to say sticks and stones will break your bones, but words will never hurt you. And if we've all been through it. Words do hurt. As much as people say it don't hurt, they do hurt. And in this time, in this era that we're in now, words are hurting kids worse. We are losing our kids at a high rate when we shouldn't be. I need everybody to check with your kids and make sure your kids are safe and they're not having any problems. And please make sure they're not being the problem because this is becoming a problem. Hold on one second.
Yeah, and you know what I like what, in my opinion, saying, and please make sure your kid ain't being the problem. Go ahead, finish
Yeah,
up. Mhm.
it's becoming a problem because we're losing our kids at a higher rate when they should be they worry shouldn't be this. They worry should be about schoolwork and stuff like that and having fun and growing up. And we putting them in an awkward situation. And then we put iPhones and tablets and phones in their hand and put them on the internet so they can do their dirty work on them. Because notice she said they also posted a racial song on Facebook. This is what I'm talking about. Now we done left bullying and we're in cyberbullying. And for this teacher to be involved, you're teaching these kids that it's okay to do this. And that's the reason why you should talk to your kids each and every day. Your grandkids, talk to them each and every day because you don't know what's going on until you sit down and talk to them. But sit down and let them know that they have a safe space so they can tell you before this happened to another kid. Let's save our youth while we can.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Felicia, your thoughts?
You know, this is a difficult piece. This is a difficult lineup here tonight. Yes, Katrina, you know I did the research because I am data. I look at data. I look at statistics. But tonight I'm going to go against much of the comments, whether they're in the chat or were verbally said. I agree with you 100% opinion. But sometimes in life, as they say, you got to stand on your square and speak your truth. And this is going to be my truth here tonight. Why did this child have to endure a year and a half of bullying? There are 18 other middle schools in this district. Where was the thinking
of her mother
and her father? She has parents.
Yeah.
When we look at schools, and I'm going to try to slow it down a little bit because I need to be understood here. Whether you have one child or 5 children, all children are not the same. Every school that one might go to may not be the best fit for this particular child. So when we're looking at schools where our children are going to spend a great deal of time in, we really need to look at, is this school a good fit for this child, this particular child? Not all of my kids, but this particular child.
Mm-hmm.
Does this school have things that is of their interest, that's going to help them to grow and develop and to be a shining star amongst their peers. All schools have bullies. All schools have groups of kids that are not necessarily kind or gracious to others. You may have a small percentage of teachers and administrators, or a larger percentage, that are not well educated, well balanced, come in with their own trauma. And this is why you do school tours. You're not just going to look to see if the toilet flushes, if they got toilet paper, what they serve for lunch. You want to get what is the energy, the mission, the spirit of that school, how they teach, how they encourage the students to do well. When your child comes home and says they're having a conflict, and it's not just with one child, it seems like they decided that she was going to be the person that they were going to torment and torture every damn day. I am confident whether her hair was in a natural or if it had been relaxed, if she wore a wig, if they put braids in, they would have found something else. So how many times was little Kayla supposed to say to her parents, I'm unhappy here. These kids are throwing things at me. They're calling me out. I can't walk the hallway happy. I can't be at peace in any classroom. How many times did she have to say it till she shut down and thought her only way out was to take her own life? Now that lawsuit, it read beautifully. I heard in some of the comments, and folks, if you don't like what I'm going to say, just be open to what I'm sharing. You can list all the things that they did or didn't do, and all the monies that you say you are supposed to be deserving of. But is that truly justice here? Is it really? When maybe you had to take 2 or 3 days off from work and go look at another school to find a better fit for your child? Really? Now, in terms of the stats, it's the same old when we come up here and we calling out one of these schools. It's an underperforming school. It's not even the best school in that district. But if you allow me, this school happens to have a comment page. So there's some parents who went on to their website and gave some comments and rankings. So one of the parents gave it 1 star in October of 2023. And this is when this happened, in the year that this happened to Kayla, right, Diva? Our son was enrolled here and just removed. He was enrolled, they enrolled him because this was his zoned middle school. We were excited to enroll him there, but after 7th grade, it became a nightmare. Constantly we're getting feedback on fights daily. Carlin picked up this mess, and it shows the true chaos that the school leadership sets in place overall. The faculty is not supportive in the least. And as stated by a previous post, if your child is helpful and empathetic, do not send them here. In September, one of the parents wrote, the energies of this school are not the best. If your child is sensitive, has values and empathy for others, this is not a suitable school. Our experiences changed over time. At first, the idea of having a STEM school sounded very good to us. After a while, we began to hear from our child how on the first day of school, one teacher announced in the class that she wished she was working someplace else, that this was her only opportunity. Some teachers are very, very young and unprofessional, and things that come out of their mouths is negative and hurtful, and not very encouraging for the children who need opposite. There's a loss of kindness and no presence of God in 90% of these teachers. It is so serious that there was a teacher who during class in public told 2 children that they were gay because they were always together. Another parent wrote, this school is not good and the teachers, aside from music, seem indifferent. I wish I had known sooner. The pandemic created a barrier from me engaging with the school. Now, anyone who has a child or a family member in this school looking in this county in Greenville, this, just as I did in a few minutes, you too can do the same. And look at the data. The data tells it all. This school is equally balanced between Black and white children. It's equally balanced in children with disabilities and children without. In terms of gender, it's pretty much 50-50. But you know what they have nearly 100% of? Failure in math and English. And 90% live below the poverty level. There is no shame in being poor economically. But when you are poor educationally, when you are poor in experiences, when you are poor in whether or not you've been exposed to positive things, and you bring all of that into one school, one environment where everyone is sort of huddling with the less than, sort of not really engaged on the positive, these things will be exasperated. They will be the norm versus not the norm. I encourage anyone who has a child who's coming home and saying to you, they're not happy at school. Take that day off, unexpected. You don't tell anybody you're coming to school. You don't even tell your child. You take a half day and you just go up and visit school. And yes, I understand. Oh, they don't just let us come into certain schools. When you stand in the presence of God and you say, I just want to come in and check on things, they'll let you in. Pay attention to what you see and what you hear. And if it's time to make a change, you make it. And you find that better fit for your child. I'm so sorry for this little girl because I cannot imagine that I would have allowed my children for a year and a half to endure any of that, for the end result to be that we all lost. We have all lost. I'm done.
I appreciate you. We all
Thank you, Felicia. Thank you. Thank you.
I was trying to well, let me just come out and say it. My thought most certainly was, but I was trying to deal with where we was at already, is a year and some change. This girl went through this. And I know that for some people, hindsight is everything, but over here, we tried to do education. And I do not like the way, I understand the way the public school system works, that if you live on XYZ block and your child is in the 5th grade, she got to go to PS 145 because that's in your district. And there are other options, but I do understand also that some people are closed within their box and they don't know and understand that there are other options, and that where there's a will, there's a way. So in my life personally, and y'all know over here, I've never tried to act like I have more than I do have, or whatever the case may be. But I will say this, and sometimes I look and I don't even know how it happened myself, but to God be the glory. And over here, Diva, I believe in God. And yes, I have my mustard seed faith. To God be the glory. There's a lot of stuff that I paid for, and I know it was by the grace of God. So I'm trying to say here, and I hope y'all are still with me and working with me, that sometimes you have to step out on faith. But like Felicia said, if your child is coming to you, and it doesn't mean like every single thing. There's some things you can go to the school to work out, and there's some things you got to know when, okay, this ain't going to work out. So me and mine got to move from here. It's very sad. And I don't know the situation as to when she walked in said room and she saw the situation that she saw, the mother. It's a lot of dynamics going on here. I didn't want to backtrack, but since Felicia started to backtrack, I'm going to roll right into it. And I'm going to say this. You have got to be in tune to the kids. You got to listen. And you got to know when to ruffle some feathers. To know that the teacher was even engaging in this deplorable behavior is unbelievable. Wayne, your thoughts?
Well, unfortunately, I think you're going to start seeing more of this. My godmother, she's like 90-something years old. And she would always tell me when I was raising my kids, because I was a single parent, she would say, keep them talking. She said, keep them talking. So, in other words, like oh yeah, I don't have time. No, I don't know, because my daughter would talk my head off, right? But I was in tune. I knew what to hear and what to, I could siphon when something was going on. And one day she came home. She was talking just blah 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 blah, whatever. And she said, "Yeah," and he offered me drugs. I'm like, "Who, Eric? I mean, who?" I went around to them people's house. Okay, now with all the things that this young lady was going through, I don't know if her mother ever stepped a foot in the school. It's nowhere in the world for that length of time would I be knowing that my child is going through this and not doing anything about it. It's unbelievable. When I was raising my grandson and my other kids, I was at that school. When I had to go, they had to go over the IEPs or whatever. I was there with the counselors and the therapists and all of them. Every time they had an appointment, I was there. I was there on Dad's Day. I was there when they had Special Olympics. All of that. You have to be in your kid. And when you are, you know what's going on. With some of the things this young lady had to endure in this century, throwing water on and teachers being involved, it's nowhere in the world my black tail would not have been at that school. They would have known who I was. I'm not shaming. I'm just saying, if when you're into your kids, you know what's going on. You know their teachers. You're into them. I can't imagine a year and a half enduring anything close to that and not have removed my child from it. It's no way. Whether I had to learn how to be a homeschooler, a teacher, or something, it's no way I would let my child endure that. No way. I'm done.
Yeah, it's a lot. My heart breaks.
Yeah.
My heart really breaks. And now the girl is here, but she's not here. It's just a lot. So if I could go ahead.
I don't mean to interrupt, but just in case, because you brought up something very important here.
Mm-hmm.
If you happen to be in a school district that requires that you go to a particular school, like you're zoned in,
Mm-hmm.
and you're having issues with this being a good fit for your child. In that lawsuit, or I don't recall if it was a lawsuit or the mother said that, it was in the lawsuit, that when her parents went up to the school, some of her classmates found out, and the level of bullying had gone up.
Mm-hmm.
When or if this is happening to you and your child, when you do go to the school, the only reason why you should be going to the school is to document what has already happened.
Mm-hmm.
So now, why is Miss Felicia saying that? Because that's what you use to get your transfer.
Mm-hmm.
So you have an incident at school and it's been ongoing. You have to transfer your child out of this zone school. They're not going to give you necessarily a transfer because you went down and you said. But if you have gone to the principal, you've gone to the teacher, and you've documented all of it, you put it in an email, that should be enough to get you the transfer to where you want to go. Don't let them say, okay, we'll give you a transfer. You can go to this school. No, you do the research and you visit the schools. And how do you visit? Every school pretty much has a parent association night, parent-teacher night. They usually don't know who all the parents are. So you can go in and visit, keep your ears open, listen to what the other parents are saying, listen to what the curriculum is about, listen to the other kids, how it's going, and then maybe you want to go do a school tour. By the time you maybe put in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you'll be able to get that transfer with the documentation that you need. And in that request, you infer that you will be seeking legal recourse if they're not able to accommodate the family. I don't want to judge this mother, but she didn't sound like she did that. And if she probably had done that, she could have transferred her to one of the other schools, because there's 17 or 18 of them, and given her a better chance to start anew. This is just, it's heartbreaking. Yes, you put in the lawsuit, you want this, and that, but everybody loses. We all lost. We lost that angel. We lost that star. I'm done.
Yeah. Thank you. And I think this is why I like to have these conversations, to be honest with you, Felicia, because I think that mother just didn't know. She just didn't know. So
Well, sometimes it's not that easy neither, Diva. It just depends on the schools. Different school boards handle things differently. I know the schools here in Alabama, even if you do go to the school board and document that, that your child has been going through bullying, they won't transfer your kid because they claim all the schools here are overcrowded. So you either have to pay for private school or you have to homeschool them. And if you don't get it at the beginning of the year, you have to wait to the end of the year before you can even homeschool them.
But if the school is
so let me
failing, they'll let them change the school that's not failing. If
so
it's
Yeah,
let me
failing,
but
hold
this
on
the
one
thing.
second.
All our schools is overcrowded here. So even if you did that, because my cousin just lost his daughter for the same thing. His daughter was in the 9th grade and she got bullied. He tried to transfer her. A week before her birthday, she took herself out of here.
I'm sorry to hear that, in my opinion. So let me just add to the conversation that Felicia was saying. Let me tell you how you got to be relentless. So what you have to do in the case is, if you're saying, in my opinion, and in this particular case, you have to first, you call them. And this is, I'm saying first, but it don't have to be in any particular order. You call them. You send an email to everybody in the school. You send it to the teachers, all your kid teachers. You send it to the principal. You send it to the vice principal. You send it to the counselor. You send it to the school nurse. Take notes, people. I'm being real serious here. You send it to the top people that oversee the schools. You send a note to the mayor of your town. You send a note to the mayor of your state. Because these are your kids, and the last thing you want is for your kid not to be here or to be in a situation where they feel that they got to take themselves out of here. And this is not judgment against anybody. This is an educational moment to say that you stay relentless. If every day my kid is going to go to that school and be subjected to some nonsense, y'all going to transfer me out with my kid because y'all not going to want me. Every morning I'm calling. I want an appointment. I'm coming to the school. And every day I'm sending emails to everybody. Like non-stop. Because what you're going to do is you're not going to ignore me, and my kid ain't going to be subjected to the nonsense. Now, if y'all been rocking with me for a while now, in high school, my son's high school, and it was a private high school. Remember, that's when I first learned with these iPhones. I don't have iPhone, I have Android. But iPhones, you can airdrop a message to somebody that you don't even have their number if you're near them. And they airdrop them some racist stuff. I emailed, I called. They tried to talk me out of wanting this thing to go to the police, but I told them if they don't go, I'm going. We're not playing this thing, not with the kids, not the kids you held in your womb for 9 months. 8, 7, or 6, whatever it was. You got to put the people on notice and let the people know that this kid right here, they got family. And we not playing these games. I don't care if it's the public school, the free school. I don't care if they gave you a scholarship to go to the school. We're not tolerating the nonsense. And when you are relentless and the right person get that email, trust me, they're going to take action. I had a situation one time, they said, can you please stop emailing? I'll stop emailing when I get the right response. And I'll go easy. There was a situation one time with my cable. And they kept telling me, we don't do weekend appointments. We can't do this. Well, I found the number to the CEO of the cable company. The Saturday they claimed they didn't work, they was in my backyard digging up the ground, fixing my cable. And I went online too, because everybody loved the social media. I found their page on the Facebook, in the Instagram, and I kept putting messages and messages in all of their posts relentlessly. And it's fun. Oh, now somebody want to call me. You stay on that school website. You call the superintendent of that district for those schools, and you email, and you email, and you email. Because you know what? They cannot lie and say, oh, we never got these emails. You email everybody. Hey, if you got the email to the janitor, you send it to them too. Y'all harassing my kid? Well, y'all about to get 1,000 emails per day. But what we're not going to do is not coming home, you wet her clothes, you calling her roach, you thinking it's a joke. No, y'all going to hear from me. I had a professor one time, because I dropped the homework in the wrong link, because I was not born into all of this technology. But I embraced it because you got to. So I dropped the homework on time, but I dropped it in the wrong link. The professor thought he was going to give me a 0. Not under my watch. I first tried to deal with the professor. The professor was ignoring me and said, you got a 0. And I said, no, not all this money I'm paying to go to this school. No, not under my watch. I wrote the dean. I wrote the president of the school. I emailed everybody under the sun. Next thing you know, and I showed all the screenshots. Because I ain't know technology, but I know somebody that did. That professor didn't play with me no more. And neither did the little assistant who was checking the homework. Not under my watch, not my money, not today, not ever. Stand up for yourself and stand up for your offspring. I'm closing out. I'm sorry. Tonight was rough. But y'all know every now and then, we got to have these hard conversations. But you keep putting your foot on their neck. If your child is going through something at the school, I send my kid for education, not all the other nonsense. Anybody else before I close out? I appreciate y'all. Listen, y'all know the routine. If you didn't hit the like button on the way in, hit the like button on the way out. I'm praying for this mother. I'm praying for the whole family. And I feel for this girl. Because now she's inside her body. She's here, but not here. Good night and goodbye, everybody.